Hey guys, Chris here from Carolot Farm. This morning, join me for my morning feeding routine. I feel it's the quickest, easiest, most streamlined feeding I've had in a long time. So I want to take you along, and I'm curious to see just how long it takes me. It's about 9:25 right now. I first like to start by feeding Sweetheart and Rocky, and they are at the brown barn, which sits just behind my house. So let's head that way now and drop their feed, and then we'll go check on the other horses that are up in the front of the farm. I first feed Rocky, and he has figured this out. He comes down here to the corner. I have his feed tub there, so I'm just gonna drop this inside and slide it under the fence, and then he is ready to go. His grain here. He's getting some soaked hay pellets with a little handful of senior feed. While he gets working on that, I am going to go inside the barnyard and I will show you my next step. Now I have Sweetheart's bucket. I want to make sure that Rocky actually stays in here until I'm finished with Sweetheart. I'm going to feed her first, but she is still getting a little bit of medicine following her asthma attack a few weeks ago, and it's just easier when he's in the ring. So now that he's locked in there, we don't want to have a little Houdini escape. Now I'm going to drop feed for Sweetheart. She has been residing in the back field, and Rocky has been in the front ring. So they have been separated for the last couple of weeks. It's going well. I have just dumped her feed into her tub. It has her cetirizine allergy tabs along with her 1AC, and I think that is all for right now. There was a time when she was getting so many different medicines that, it was a lot more than just those two things. I have her closed in here now. She'll finish eating and I will come back just in a few minutes, and she does still need her albuterol inhaler. So it's just easier when she stays put, he stays put, just helps me move about my morning routine. So now we have fed 2 of 5 horses on the farm. We currently have 4 minis, Sweetheart and Rocky in the back, and then we have Shenanigans and Lady up front. And we also have a new resident. My niece's horse Timber is now residing here. So we have 4 minis and 1 full-size horse. It takes me not even a minute to walk from the brown barn back up to the house. I'm gonna drop these 2 buckets off and pick up the next 3. So here we have food in the yellow bucket for Shenanigans. We have Lady's bucket here in the green. And then this is Timber's senior grain right here in our faded orange bucket. So now that I have my other 3 buckets, we're gonna make our way across the front yard to our 2 front fields. Our winter turnout, and then Timber is in the larger field just beyond. It doesn't take long. I mean, again, it takes me maybe a minute to walk from the back porch where I pick up my buckets up here to the larger run-in. I first want to drop feed for Lady, and I'll show you. Then I'll go to Shenanigans, and then Timber is just a few strides away. But again, everything is so streamlined. It's really quick and easy. Lady can be a little pushy. Shenanigans is patiently waiting, and then Timber, you can see, just gave a little nicker. She's over in her run-in waiting patiently as well. When I can, I like to have the feed tubs outside of the run so I can quickly drop feed and then just slip them under like that. 1 down, 2 more to go. Again, quick and easy. It's got to be simple. Routines have to be something that anyone can come and help to replicate because it's good for the horses. So next I have Shenanigans bucket here. I have his tub here on the ground, just like Lady. I'm gonna dump it. He's very hungry though, and slip it right underneath. Like Rocky, he gets just 2 little scoops of soaked hay pellets and the smallest handful of senior feed. And now on to our final friend to feed this morning. We have Timber. I have her orange bucket here. The different colors help me to kind of keep the buckets apart. I had a little bucket mix up though earlier in the year. I still have 2 yellow and 2 green, but I'll tell you what works and how I've tried to remedy that issue I had. So let me feed her though real quick. She's very patient, this one. Now Timber's tub actually stays inside her run, and she is so patient that I can just pour her grain in like that, and then she'll start working on it. She really has been a very easy addition to the farm. When feeding multiple horses, it can be very helpful to have different colored buckets and to label them. I also go so far as to subgroup them so that I know which buckets go to the back and which buckets go to the front, and they're already together. So now you can see everyone is eating, and it has taken less than 10 minutes to feed the horses. Because we have plenty of grass everywhere still, I'm not having to put any hay out. And so from a feed perspective, my morning feeding is finished. The only thing I have left to do now is put fly masks on and then to go back and give Sweetheart her albuterol inhaler. But she does need about 10 to 15 minutes to eat. So I usually have a few minutes on my own here now. I'll grab those masks, we'll pop them on once everyone's done eating, and then we'll go check on Sweetheart. I do also need to gather my buckets and kind of retrace my steps. You want to make sure you have your buckets handy and ready for the next feeding. So if I should leave them out here, I'd be in sad shape. Shenanigans has decided that he wants to lick his bucket nice and clean though. I'll let him do that. And I think I'm going to step inside now and find those fly masks. I've got my fly masks here. Timbers is hot pink. Lady has the small purple, and then Shenanigans has the teal. Lady is the only horse that I actually prefer to put her mask on when she's eating. So I'm gonna do that now, and then I'll go around to Shenanigans and to Timber. And then when we go back to the brown barn in a little to check on Sweetheart, we'll put her mask on when we're finished, and we'll give Rocky his mask. Shenanigans is the youngest on the farm, and so I do put a lead rope around his neck. It helps him to stand still and sort of at attention. He has a tendency to want to chew on his fly mask when I go to put it on him, and it's a little challenging. So with the rope around his neck, I am able to kind of drape his mask over his ears and then Velcro it under his chin here. So that's working well for us, but he's getting much, much better. And you can see where Lady also has her purple mask on. She'll take a few more minutes to finish eating, and then I will pull her feed tub out of the run-in. It just, again, makes everything a little easier the next time I come to feed. Another thing I do is I like to leave my ropes here on my gate so they're always handy whenever I might need to grab them. So now the last mask in the front is Timbers. I see she's almost finished up with her morning grain. Usually she'll come out here to the water trough, and that's where I'll meet her. I'll put her mask on. I'm not going to spray everyone right now. I'll keep an eye on them. We use Piranha, and it has a pretty good long lasting effect. I know Timber was sprayed really well yesterday. My niece came out and rode her, and my guys had a little spray on too, so they probably don't need any today. The flies aren't too bad. It's more the ticks. And because the Piranha is an oil-based spray, it does seem to kind of stay on them and give lasting effect. So maybe every other day I might put spray on, but again, it just depends. Timber was so good. She let me walk up and just put it on her from the side of the fence. She hasn't yet left her run-in, and easy peasy. Another important thing to do in the morning is check water troughs. So Timber's trough looks fantastic. We gave it a little fresh water yesterday. We're not filling it all the way to the brim because the pollen is quite bad, but I do keep a check on it, and I will refill it and scrub it as needed. But here she is. She does like to come over for a drink usually after her breakfast. As Lady works to finish up her last few morsels, I will move her tub outside of the run, and again, it's just ready and waiting for the evening meal. Now that everyone's done, Shenanigans has finished licking his bucket. I have all three. I'm gonna head back to the house, but I have one more thing to do up here first, and that is check on my other water trough. So again, here, this is the one for Shenanigans and Lady. I scrubbed and filled it yesterday, and it looks great. It's really important to check on your water every day. I mean, I'd say twice a day if you can. You just never know. Maybe somehow your water trough got a crack and it's leaking. Maybe there's a dead squirrel in it. I've had a friend who unfortunately has had several squirrels fall into her trough and pass. So check your troughs. You just never know what crazy thing might have happened. And the last thing you want is for your horses to be without water. So everyone up front looks great. Let's go get Sweetheart's medicine and head to the back. Hopefully she's about done. Back at the house now, I have Sweetheart's Ventapulmin syrup, and I have her albuterol inhaler It has a little mask and a chamber, super easy to use. She's been really, really good. So let's head back to the brown barn and see if she's done. It does look like she's finished eating, so that's a good thing. We'll grab her halter and then bring her out. Sweetheart and I have developed our own medication routine. You know, she had that asthma attack 2.5 weeks ago, and she's been getting medicine twice a day, every day, and you know, most every day, multiple medicines every day. And so we again have our own little routine, and I'm going to drop her medicine off. I leave it right here by the barn. I'm going to grab her halter, and then there's one more little step that I need to do that again is just part of our medication routine. So I'm going to grab her halter here. It's always handy for if and when I need it. There are 2 important things I need to get out of my tack room. Masks for Rocky and Sweetheart, and 2 little treats. These little treats are for Sweetheart. After she gets her syrup, she gets one, and after her inhaler, she gets one. It's a very important thing because this poor horse has been poked and prodded, and you know, I've been giving her medicine for over 3 weeks now. So the poor thing, the least she can get are a few little treats. And because we're talking about routines, the cookies, her little treats, have become a routine. She expects them after her medicine. She's really good for her medicine, and I don't want to let her down and disappoint her. And so she does get a cookie after everything. So I have her halter on her, and I just walk her right across our little kind of aisleway here, and I'm gonna tie her at the corner of the brown barn. So here I have my little tie. It's all ready, waiting for her. I'm gonna first give her her Ventapulmin syrup. When we first started out, she was getting 4 milliliters twice a day. Then we backed her down to 2 milliliters, and now it's 1 milliliter. So she's getting just a very small amount. She'll get this morning and night, and pretty soon she won't be needing any of it, hopefully. So medicine 1 down, first cookie in. If you've ever had asthma or had to use an inhaler, you are supposed to shake them first. So I'm going to give it a shake for a few seconds here, and then I'm going to pop the lid off, put it on the chamber, and give her a few puffs. The albuterol goes right into the end of it. There's a little arrow pointing towards the mask. And so all I have to do now is place the mask over one nostril, give a pump of the inhaler, and then as she breathes, that little green flapper will move, and that lets me know that she is in fact breathing in the albuterol that is in that center chamber. Now that we're done with her medicine, she has her mask on, she's got her mane braided. I'm going to turn her out into her back paddock. Truly, the longest part of my morning routine is just taking care of Sweetheart and making sure she gets all of her medicines and all of the different things that she needs to have a comfortable day. But now I'm done with her. All I have to do is hang up her halter and then put Rocky's fly mask on, and I truly will then be finished with my morning routine. Like up by the winter turnout, I always like to have a halter or a shank or something handy if I ever just need to grab a horse in a pinch. And because I'm handling Sweetheart and giving her medicine twice a day, I just leave her halter out here. Normally the halter I would have put in the tack room and just had a shank out here, but you know, because I am using it so frequently, it just stays outdoors. But let's go put Rocky's mask on. Mask number 5 for the day. I really do like the bright colors. Should they fall off out in the field, they will be easily found. But at this point, I've never had them fall off. I have had Rocky slip it over one ear, I think on one occasion, but the mask still stayed in place and it didn't come off. So I'm pretty happy. I was trying to get my phone like ready so I could film as I was walking up to Rocky. Well, he walked up to me faster than I can get my phone out and on, and now his mask is on. He was so ready. So I just was able to drape it over his ears, Velcro it under his chin, and now he's back to grazing. While I'm down here with Rocky, I'm gonna take his tub and I'm gonna hang it on the fence, and that way it will be ready and waiting when I come back this evening to feed. That's a part of my routine, is making sure that I really finish everything up and everything is prepared for the next round. That's, you know, the mornings when I haven't done that, or the evenings when I haven't done that and I come back to feed, I then have to come into the field and get their tubs, and you know, it just takes a lot longer. So if I can think to do these things now, it saves me more time in the long run. And again, we're trying to be the most efficient as possible. So sometimes those little teeny things can really make a big difference. Not only does it take me longer, but the horses then have to wait longer. And I want to avoid that if at all possible, so I can keep things streamlined. Hey, Rocky, hey, stop. No. I had to rescue Sweetheart's inhaler from Rocky. He was very interested. Usually I take it out of the field, then I put his mask on. I didn't, and clearly I need to make sure I do next time. That would have been really, really sad if he had actually gotten a hold of it and injured it. The mask, I think it was like $89 originally. I had a $20 coupon. So what is that? Close to 70 bucks. So again, it's not something I want to have to replace on the regular. It's working really, really well, and I would really hate to be without it. So thank goodness it didn't get hurt. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun showing you around. I think it's a pretty simple, mid-April feeding routine. All in all, if I wasn't filming or distracted by anything, I could be done within 30 minutes. There are some days where really what's holding me up is just waiting for Sweetheart to finish eating those last few little bites. Today it took me a little longer because again I was filming, but again it's super straightforward, and I'm just so happy that it is that way, because if and when I ever need to step away from the farm, I want for my house sitter to be able to step in and feed the horses without any real issues or without it taking too long. I mean, we have had some routines that were not as straightforward. I'll just say that. So again, if you can, try to get your routines where they are quick, they're easy, and they're replicable. So have a great rest of your day. Check back soon. We'll have more spring updates, and we hope to see you in the future. Bye, guys.